Speaker, first I'd like to thank the chairman and the ranking member for their hard work on this bill. My amendment would add $10 million to the Community Trust Initiative account for police body-worn cameras and would take those $10 million from the DEA account for salaries and expenses. Over the last several months, we have seen more and more encounters between members of our communities and law enforcement that have been too powerful to ignore. We've seen in those recordings instances of police abuse. We've seen instances where police were justified in the use of force. We've even seen instances where police went above and beyond doing their job. And Mr. Speaker, over the last 2 decades or so, something changed. 2 things, in fact. First, we developed the technology so that basically each of us who walks around with a cell phone camera is a social documentarian of the things going on around us. The second thing that changed is the advent of social media, which allowed people not only to document their experiences, but also to widely distribute what they have documented to this country and to the world. And because of that, we have gotten a better indication of the interaction between law enforcement and members of our community. And in this digital age, we have a responsibility to seek and to know the truth about those encounters. Local police departments, many of them, in fact, 25% of the 17,000 police agencies in this country are already using body cameras. Many more in states all over our nation are seeking the funds to do this. The President of the United States asked for $50 million to allow local grants and monies for local agencies to afford these body cameras and for the storage to make sure that they can keep that evidence. As you all know, this is a very expensive thing, and many departments have struggled with the funds to afford these things. And so, in the budget that's been proposed, the amount proposed is not $50 million, but $15 million. This $10 million would simply bring us back up to half of what the President has requested at $25 million. I will also add that this is very popular among the American people. Fully 86% of Americans, Republicans and Democrats, people of every race and ethnicity, in every community across the country, support increased use of body cameras for officers. Even the Association of Police Chiefs in our country supports this also. So with that, Mr. Speaker, I'm going to reserve the balance of my time.
Gentleman reserves. For what purpose does the gentleman from Texas seek recognition?
I would ask unanimous consent to claim the time in opposition. We support the gentleman's amendment. And I would encourage members to support it. The gentleman has a good amendment. I think the Community Trust Initiative program that we've created in the bill to encourage rebuild that bond of trust between police officers and their community by making sure that these body cameras are available. We also ensured, as my good friend from Texas, Texas was the first state in the union to pass a state law that says when, where, and how this data from the body cameras can be used. State Senator Royce West from Dallas passed that legislation. I had a chance to talk to him during the legislative session about a month and a half ago and talk to him about this. And I said, if you will pass this law in Texas and other states will pass it, my good friend Mr. Fatah and I, we made sure that the language in our bill follows state law. The state law of Georgia, the state law of Pennsylvania, and Texas, et cetera, will decide when, where, and how this data can be accessed by attorneys, by victims. Make sure it's not given to the media. State law will control that. It's a good program and a good amendment, and I encourage members to support it. I'm happy to yield to my good friend from Philadelphia.
I thank the chairman, and I thank the gentleman from Texas for offering this amendment. I also support it. We have already put some dollars available for this purpose, but adding an additional $10 million gets us closer to the goal that we want to seek in this effort. So I thank the gentleman, and we got a circumstance here where we're in total agreement and on one accord. Thank you. I yield back to the chairman.
Yield back.
From Texas.
I just want to say thank you, Chairman, for your foresight. Thank you for your work on this. Also, just want to thank a few folks, Congressman Cleaver, Clay, Bacher, who was with me on this, Congressman Schweikert, John Lewis, and Donald Norcross. Congressman Norcross did a lot of work on this in New Jersey. So thank you very much, and I yield back.
Gentleman yields back.